Dear friends, today we have with us Sarmad Mehraj sir. Sir has over 11 years of experience teaching the UPSC aspirants both in the online and offline field. Sir is joining Unacademy as an educator for polity, current affairs, and he will also be helping the overall academic structure of the UPSC offerings. Sir, welcome to Unacademy.
Thank you so much.
Sir, please tell us something about yourself, particularly starting with what is the meaning of your name?
Sarmad means eternal. I've been teaching polity, governance, current affairs for the last 11 years. Excited about the online mode of civil services examination preparation. And I think with Unacademy, I'll get a much wider platform to reach out to the millions of the aspirants. And I hope I'll be able to help students crack this exam.
So, sir, my first question is based on your experience both in the online and offline field, what are the common mistakes made by the English medium aspirants while preparing for UPSC?
I think if we do not segregate Hindi and English medium students and look at aspirants on a wider scale, students often do not follow two very important documents for this examination. One is the syllabus and the other are the previous year's question papers. Syllabus will tell an aspirant what to study, but previous year's question papers will give an idea about the student, how to prepare and approach those subjects, and what sort of questions can be asked in the examination. And also, how can you anticipate what questions can be asked in the year you are appearing in the examination. So these are two important documents that a student must not just read, but understand.
So friends, sir rightly pointed out, syllabus and previous year question papers, they are very important for UPSC. And I am also happy to share with you that Unacademy has prepared the topic-wise question papers both for the prelim and mains examination, and you can download it for free and take benefit of that. So sir, these are the two basic things. What are the other ingredients for success for a UPSC aspirant?
First is motivation. I think if you're not motivated to go the long haul, prepare for this examination, that's a very difficult wicket that you are getting yourself into. And motivation has to be self-driven. You have to be self-motivated because it's a long journey. It may take 2 years, 3 years, 4 years of a preparation time. And I believe there are only two kinds of aspirants. Those who quit, those who do not. And those who quit, obviously they will not clear this exam. And those who don't quit, they persist. There is no power on earth that can stop them from realizing their dream. So one is motivation, which can be anything. This is my father's dream. This is my great-great-great-grandfather's dream. I want to serve the society. I want to change the lives of the millions of the people. That's a sufficient motivation, but there has to be motivation. Because once you prepare for this exam, you may reach a point where you just want to give up. You think that this is not meant for me. I can't study too much. I can't study these different subjects that I'm required to study. And then you may want to give up. But it is this motivation which will not let you give up. So you have to be motivated. That's number one. And once motivation is clear, then I think number two ingredient would be dedication. Create a proper timetable and stick to it. Start with minimal expectations, one topic a day, newspaper, and gradually once you achieve these targets, you will get a boost in your confidence and gradually you will increase the targets as well. So motivation, then dedication, and then I think a mentor who can tell you what to study, but most importantly, how to study. And even more importantly, what not to study. Because the idea, the goal should be to become a district collector and not a books collector.
Absolutely, sir. So, friends, as you must have noticed by now, sir is identified core ingredients for success. One is internal motivation, second is perseverance, do not quit, and thirdly, you need a good mentor. Now, sir, speaking of motivation, a man of your academic background and exposure could have found some well-paying job in the corporate sector. So, what motivated you to come in this education field?
I became a teacher by chance, but I continued as a teacher by choice. I remember I was teaching offline in Bengaluru, And at the end of the class, at the end of the batch, to be precise, a student who was then elder to me, he came to me and touched my feet. And I thought, this is the moment I should continue with this field. But initially, I gave it an option, I gave it a thought, let me teach for a while. I got the opportunity by chance, but then I continued with this out of pure choice and no regrets.
By choice and no regrets. Sir, you were talking about this preparation sources. Now, often one of the query that we get from aspirants, Indian Express or The Hindu, which one to read?
I think you can choose either of the two, the Hindu or the Indian Express. Often students complain in my area, district, we do not get the newspapers delivered. There are options. Log into the e-paper and you can read the newspaper at 5 o'clock in the morning. I remember when I would teach students in the morning batch, the batch would start at 6 a.m. and I would cite examples from today's newspaper, and they would wonder, how are you quoting today's newspaper because it hasn't been delivered yet? But I would read it 5 o'clock in the morning. You will get enough excuses in your path to prepare for this exam. And I think if you need a better excuse, find an excuse to crack this exam.
So friends, as sir pointed out, either The Hindu or Indian Express, whichever you can acquire easily, you can read. And another thing that was worth mentioning is, sir is starting his classes very early in the morning, so that even the working professionals, homemakers, college going students, they can attend the class live. Now, sir, often a question comes, we are joining an online class and there is also an opportunity to watch the recorded sessions. So which one is better, to attend it live or to see the recorded ones?
What you need, that's what I said at the start, motivation, dedication. And dedication is when you are attending the classes live. So you are making a timetable, a routine, you stick to it. Otherwise, you procrastinate. Even if I'm not able to attend the class live, I would watch it later, but then you never do, or you miss out. I think once you have made up your mind that you are attending a class live, you should stick to it. And the remaining part of the day you can utilize by revising the lectures, by revising the notes that we would provide. But attend it live, that is something that you should not compromise on. Unless and until, of course, there is some adversity by which you can't attend the class live, you can always go through the recordings of that class, but on the same day. So that next day, when you attend the class, you already know what has been covered in the previous lecture.
I absolutely agree with what sir said. See, when you are attending a class live, you cannot fast forward, you cannot run it at 1.5 times speed. So that helps you absorb the things at a natural rate. Otherwise, you can complete the class watching at a faster speed in recorded session, but you will not be able to grasp the things. So better attend the things live. Another, because...
Sorry to interrupt, but also once you're attending the class live, you always have the option of getting your doubts clarified by the teacher, which you can't do if you're watching the recordings of that class. So that gives you the feeling that you are in a complete offline environment, attending a class. And this is where I would like to take one moment to differentiate between the offline and the online mode. In offline, you would also have realized that students are also skeptical in asking questions. Is this a silly question to ask? What would my fellow competitors think about this silly question? I would rather not raise my hand. But in online, there is anonymity. You can ask any question that comes to your mind and get your doubts clarified. Because once you get your doubts clarified, there is no reason why you can't clear this examination.
Absolutely, sir. And in the online mode of learning, when you are attending the classes live, it is possible Educator will also give you many more examples which are not given in the books or in the written notes. Particularly in subjects like polity, when there are so many case laws, previous amendments, newspaper and case studies, those things you will benefit by absorbing it in the mode of lecture. Sometimes what happens, sir, is they download the PowerPoint and they simply go through it and they assume that these are the slides and this much knowledge has been imparted in the live class.
If you're revising, perfect, please do that.
Yes.
But if you're learning for the first time, that's the mistake that you should not commit.
Now, speaking of polity, sir, often the newcomers think that we have completed this Laxmikant book and our polity subject is over. What are your thoughts on this?
Laxmikant helps in prelims examination. but not in the mains examination. And this is where there's another mistake that a student would commit. Quite often, the students don't realize what is the basic fundamental difference between the prelims and the mains examination. Everybody would know that prelims is MCQ based, mains is descriptive. But I think the fundamental difference is UPSC focuses on two themes when it comes to the prelims examination: facts and concepts. Whether you have the factual knowledge, whether you have the conceptual clarity, and questions around these would be asked in the prelims examination. Mains is also about two things: elaboration and analysis. Elaborate whatever you have studied for your prelims examination. Analyze all the issues that are being faced in your respective domains. Laxmikant would help in the prelims. I'll just give an example. What are the qualifications required for someone in order to be appointed as the governor of a state? What is the tenure of the governor? Can the same governor be appointed to more than one state or not? These are facts mentioned in Laxmikant, relevant for your prelims, and you would be able to solve it. But is the office of governor a relic of colonial era and should be discarded in the dustbins of the history? That's something that is relevant now because of the recent developments that we have seen, the tussle between the elected chief ministers and the appointed governors. And this is something that you can't find mentioned in Laxmikant. For that, Laxmikant plus newspapers, I think that should be more than enough for prelims as well as mains exam. Plus also now, I think UPSC, and you would appreciate, has ventured into more and more conceptual topics, even when it comes to polity. The questions surrounding principles of natural justice and things like that. Those you can't find in Laxmikant. And for that, you need a strong conceptual clarity, which I hope we would be able to provide when the students attend the classes live.
Absolutely, sir. And even in case of prelim examination, many questions are coming outside the book of Laxmikant. For example, I remember in the last prelims, there's something about who is regulating the home guards or the dimension of the flags. Then there were some NALSA and other free legal aid authorities. Many things are coming that are outside Laxmikant. Personally, I feel that Laxmikant is like minimum system requirement that everyone is from Kashmir to Kanyakumari aware. So if you want to get the edge over others, you also need to walk that extra mile, which you rightly pointed out needs to be taken from this newspaper and other books. So apart from Laxmikant, sir, what other resources one should pursue for polity?
You can start with NCERTs if you have time, should you wish to. Our Constitution at Work, Political Theory. These are two beautifully written books that you must go through if you have time. Then Laxmikant, obviously, because the facts are important, sacred for this exam, relevant for your prelims. Plus, analyze the same things with the newspaper. For example, Shiv Sena versus Shiv Sena, which is the real Shiv Sena. Laxmikant would mention about the anti-defection law. What was the need to bring in this law? When was it enacted? But what are the current challenges in the implementation of this law? Is this law good, bad, or ugly? What are the reforms required to better implement this law? What are the suggestions that you can provide? Those you can find through the editorials, through the columns written by constitutional experts, through the writers, often in the newspapers.
Absolutely, sir. However, I feel that these preparation sources are so fragmented. Sometimes it requires that you need to be aware about the things that happened 3 years, 5 years ago. So if you have a mentor or an educator that has already compiled all these resources, it helps you cover the subject in a more time-bound manner, that I feel. So, sir.
And let's be honest with this.
Yes.
Is it possible to qualify this examination without joining a coaching or an online class? It is. But by joining a coaching class, I think what is the expectation from a student? I just want to minimize the time required to crack this exam. Otherwise, anybody can prepare at home using their own resources to qualify this examination. But what a mentor does gives you an edge over others so that you can quickly sort this out, clear this exam, and live the rest of your life.
So, sir, speaking of this time frame, how long is the duration of your courses for prelims and mains? And what are the unique offerings for that?
We are starting a comprehensive English preparation program for the civil services aspirants. We would be providing live classes, morning batch, evening batch, morning from 6:30 in the morning, evening 6 o'clock in the evening. We would also be providing the annotated PPTs that the teacher would use in the class. You have the option of getting your doubts clarified by the teacher during the class. We will be providing additional reading material to the students. Then there will be special curated classes for current affairs. For example, every first Tuesday of the month, we would be providing polity-based current affairs, covering both prelims as well as mains. So basically, in one class, you will cover the current affairs related to polity of the past 1 month. Similarly, for other subjects such as international relations, internal security, economics, your subject, by the way. So static portion plus current affairs, plus the notes that we provide, plus the idea that this is one-stop destination for you for all your requirements to crack this exam.
So friends, morning as well as evening classes, they are conducted live, and the timing is such that if you are a working professional, homemaker, college going student, still you can manage to find time to attend it live, provided that you can either wake up very early or reach home a little early in the evening. And as sir pointed out, comprehensively prelim mains courses is being done. There is also additional classes for current affairs, as well as curated mock questions, previous year questions, comprehensive material, everything is provided. So sir, speaking of polity, what are the events in the year 2023 that captured most of your attention in terms of relevance for exam point of view?
The beauty about polity is that it is relevant every day. You open a newspaper and you will find a flurry of newspaper articles related to polity as well as economics. So I would suggest students, when they start preparing for this examination and you're confused as to what subject should I start with, I think polity and economics, these are the two subjects that you should study simultaneously. And then once these two subjects are clear, done, you would be able to better understand the newspaper. And newspaper to me is the Bible of this examination. If you can understand a newspaper, follow newspaper, there is no reason why you can't do well in this examination. So events in polity such as the anti-defection law, one nation, one election, multiple events, the three laws which have been passed related to the Penal Code, Evidence Act. These are important developments which have shaped last year and can be relevant for the examination, the upcoming examination.
Now, apart from this, sir, in case of polity subject, often I get this inquiry from learners from when I should start the mock test series for prelims and mains.
I think once you're done with at least 25 to 30% of the syllabus, that is when you should start practicing the mocks. Particularly for the descriptive answers, I think you should wait for 50% completion of the syllabus, even later as well. But MCQs, you can start on a regular basis as soon as you're done with, let's say, 5-6 classes. But mains answer writing, you should slightly delay it, complete 50% of the syllabus and then start writing answers.
So friends, speaking of test series and practice questions, I'm happy to share with you that Unacademy is conducting Unacademy Civil Service Championship Test, which is UCSC test. If you manage to get good score in this exam, you can win variety of laptop, tablet, scholarship prizes. And even if you do not win anything, still you will get an exposure to whether you are up to the mark in the UPSC preparation or not, because the exam is coming very soon in the month of May. So do take benefit of this UCSC test. Friends, we are also very happy to share that with Sarmad sir, we are launching a new pure English medium YouTube channel for UPSC aspirants. Now sir, what are going to be the special focus areas of your channel?
It will be purely focused on current affairs, the daily newspaper analysis, the Hindu newspaper analysis. We'll focus on Indian Express as well. We will have quizzes on the YouTube channel. We will focus on segregating current affairs classes in terms of their subject relevance, for example, polity-based, economics-based, places in news. And we will come up with important developments, for example, the Shiv Sena versus the Shiv Sena battle, or whether AMU should be a minority educational institution or not. There is a 7-judge bench of the Supreme Court hearing this matter. As soon as the verdict is over, we will analyze that verdict from all angles. That should be primary focus at Unacademy, to provide A to Z when it comes to current affairs on that YouTube channel.
Pure exam-oriented academic discussion for serious UPSC aspirants.
Nothing more, nothing less.
Absolutely, sir. Lastly, sir, apart from this UPSC-related books, what other non-fiction books you are reading at present to, and you would recommend the learners to go through them for preparation of their essay, interview, and overall understanding of?
Yeah, I think instead of what I'm reading right now, it's important for me to tell them what they should read should they get time. I'm a big George Orwell fan, and if you can find time to go through The Animal Farm, 1984, Salman Rushdie's Midnight's Children, I'm a fan of the magical realism that he projects, V.S. Naipaul, A House for Mr. Biswas. These are the books that I think you should go through.
Recently, Dr. Raghuram Rajan also came up with this new book on economy about molding India's economic development. Lately, I have been reading it not in the sequential manner, but because now my economic course is going on and I am at the last pillar, which is human resource development. So I was reading the chapter on education and I found it very, I wouldn't say that there were any new ideas that I am not aware already because of my understanding of the subject, but UPSC aspirants should read it. It will improve their articulation skill for essay writing. Very nicely has given the points. So friends, again I welcome Sarmad sir. Do like, share and subscribe this channel for all the videos that are coming. And sir is also launching polity courses for prelims and mains. Comprehensively everything will be covered. And Unacademy is a platform where you join with only one subscription and all the shows are unlocked, similar to like Netflix or Amazon Prime. So not only polity, economy, environment, geography, prelims, mains, test series, doubt resolution, mentorship, notes, all access is unlocked for you. So do take benefit of it. Links are in the description. Let's crack it.
Let's crack it.